It's blustery cold. And it's supposed to get colder because, you know, winter's coming. And some of these tractors, I probably ought to check the antifreeze on them. The 80, you know, I had it out playing with it this year. And it's got a little bit of a radiator leak that started acting up. And I don't remember. I remember adding fluid, but sometimes you get in a rush, you add just water. We don't need the sadness that comes with frozen radiators and blocks. And come on, just sit still. It's a little on the low side now. There we go. What's it saying? It's not the greenest in color, but 4 of the 5 balls floating. Oh, that gets her, what, 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, 4 is good to 20 below. I think 5th ball is 40 below. Well, that was easy enough. I think I was using that, how it's basically the green antifreeze, but it doesn't have this green of a color. It's supposedly compatible with everything. I seriously doubt that. But it should be, you know, I checked. It was ethylene glycol, which is the green stuff normally. So yeah, you know, that part should be fine. 20 below is pretty good for here. Nothing I gotta get too worried about. Let's try the 770. I know checking antifreeze probably isn't the most exciting thing, but hey, you get to kind of come in here and see the collection. Plowed with this. I had it out some years ago. A friend wanted to drive with us in the 4th of July parade, so I got this one out and buffed up the paint, and you can see how it, just like with the 990, boy, it just cleaned that up nice. It's kind of on the low side. Yeah. Well, rather than putting some in to not know, my trick is to, let's see how we can do this with whoa! Maybe it'll be like this, but I'll open the drain. Let's get you aimed there. Boy, what a view. I get you aimed. I just open this enough to where I can get a sample. Enough to, you know, tell if it's gonna freeze or not without having to add some, because then we have to run it to mix it, make sure it's an accurate sample. And once again, oh, this one's got a little more green color to it. 4 out of 5 balls, so we're good to 20 below there. Another good sample. Oh look, I squirted it right on the floor. How irresponsible. 2 for 2. I did not mess with any of those this year, so they survived last winter, to the best of my knowledge. And any of those. But we did play with the 660. Probably better check that. Oh, at least a little. Oh, this has got the other stuff in it. That's okay. I've got the tester for the other stuff. Propylene glycol. Supposed to be safer, last longer. I'm sure there's much debate about that too. Well, I gotta go grab that. Hold on. Or, you know, it'll be here instantly. Oh, they're all gonna float. Yay. I can't quite read the chart with its small print on a clear background, But I'm willing to bet all of them floating is good. I'm not sure what to think about the orange stuff. I hear people complain about it. I haven't had any troubles. Dean Barker, who was an engineer for Oliver, said that when that stuff first come out, what was it, Shell? One of the companies that was making it, came in and made a presentation there at the factory in Charles City about their great new antifreeze. And he's supposed to, the corrosion inhibitors were supposed to last longer and have a lot longer service life. And so I thought I'd try some out. And like I say, I guess it's working for me, but I know I've heard people complain about it too. So the biggest thing is keeping track of what's in which, because you don't want to blend them. They will react and gum up and plug up passages in your radiator. And so, I mean, that little bit from the tester, if that happens to, you know, cross, ain't gonna be enough. But hey, and if I'm trying to remember where my battery booster is, charger, it's in here. Let's see, I don't think we messed with a 440, but we're right here. I know I haven't had this 550 started this year. Maybe I should just throw a battery in for, you know, entertainment purposes. Hasn't run this year, and you know, all the other triple digits have, with maybe the exclusion of the 440. Let's see. Question number 1, is there gas? It smells like gas. Let me get a match. Oh, it looks dry in the bottom. Yeah, she all evaporated or drained away or something, but it is dry as a bone in there, but it's clean. That's, you know, there we go. That's half the battle. So do I put gas in something that's bone dry already just to run it a little, or wait until spring? All right, spring, yes. That's what I see in the comments. So that's what I'll go with. Well, as long as we're here, let's just check it. When I went in my shop to, oh, I can even see green fluid in there. When I went in the shop to get these testers, the 990 was in there, and I went ahead and checked that. Float, you little devils. 4 out of 5 again, good to 20 below. It doesn't look, it looks green looking down the hole, but in this tester, for some reason, it just doesn't look that green. So another one passes the test. But yes, the 990, that had all 5 floating. So it is definitely good, and it's in a heated shop, no less. So, all right, 440. Stop that. Maybe we should fire this one up to give some satisfaction in this video. First, we shall do this. I can see the green color. I can see the balls floating. 1, 2, 3, 4. Number 5 sinking. Number 4 is heading up slowly, but 20 below. Once again, that's good for here. The nice thing is, some of you may realize this, especially my Canadian viewers, 40 below is the same in both Fahrenheit and Celsius. That's where they meet up at. Okay. Oh, yep, I can see there's liquid in there. All right. Let's check the comments. Maybe I should check with my sponsor. Oh, that's me. Yeah. I think there's a battery in the Super 44. Or maybe the 77, but it should be in here. Let's fire this one up. Give me just a moment. Let's set you here on top of the 550. Get a view. Hey, the battery charger's even here. How can we go wrong? Before I turn the gas on, I like to crank them just a little bit, make sure things are gonna neutral. But my charger does 6 volts, so you know, that was one of my criteria when I was buying it. Let's see if that makes, well, let's see if on makes a difference. Whoa. Positive. Negative. Yeah, that should be right. Yeah, the gauge shows some amperage. Well, that's a Farm and Fleet from 21, so it's what, 4 years old. It's probably getting to the end of its cheap life. We'll let that charge for a couple of minutes. It's also cold, so you know. Give these battery cables a good twist. Batteries don't like the cold. Speaking of which, how's the GoPro coming? It's low. 21%. Let's let that charge for a minute. We'll go check the Super 44. I'm pretty usually sure I use that on the auger. I don't recall adding fluid, but hey, we are right here. I see moisture. Hey, we got 5 floaties in this one. If we get that cold, I got bigger problems. Yeah, I haven't messed with any of the supers other than the Super 44 this year. We should probably check Blaine's Super 88. I had all new stuff put in it. It should be fine, but we'll do that while we're waiting for that battery charger to, you know, work its magic. Make sure I got my mix right. Oopsies. It's catching in there. The baffle. Alright, there we go. And even the 5th one's starting to float. Just barely. So it should be, yeah, it's going up. Cool. 40 below on that one. And I've used it some, so I know it's stirred up good. I'm thinking about at some point, I'm gonna shuffle more stuff around or something. Getting this one in the shop and doing the paint job on it. It's one we sold new, and I don't mean painting it, I mean like buffing it, maybe a little wet sanding. I think this one would really clean up nice. It's one we sold and bought back. And years ago, I did a little wet sanding here on the hood. And you can see, there's a lot of green under this, you know, patina. Be some work, but I think she would really clean up nice with some elbow grease. Did a little bit here on the grill. You can see how much more yellow came out. And like I say, I bet that's been 10 years. I don't know. It's been a lot of years. 10 seems to be the number my brain likes. I'm trying to remember what color is in this one. Probably orange. Yeah. Haven't had to add any though, so it should be fine. Ophelia. Okay. I'm going to turn the gas on for a moment to get some in the carburetor, then turn it back off in case the carburetor's sticking and it doesn't, you know, flood a whole bunch. And then if it gets running, I can just turn the gas on again. I found that to be a good way on these ones that have sat for a little bit to, you know, first get them started. Because a lot of times flooding them out seems to be the issue. All right, let's try that. We'll want the choke, and a little throttle, and I smell battery acid. Come on, baby. Yeah, that amp gauge ain't going up very high. I have a feeling that 6-volt battery is getting towards the end of its life here on Earth as a battery. Although it might get reincarnated as another battery. That's kind of the way the life cycle of batteries is, or ours. All right, we'll give her a few more minutes. All right, 440. Don't make me look bad. Put it up to 12 volts for just a moment. Oh man. Who knows, maybe I'm not getting gas. Well, I can see gas flowing in the sediment bulb. Stuff's kind of swooshing around. So gas is moving through. And then it stops swooshing, so that acts like the carburetor got full and the float did its job and the needle. And probably just old gas. Let's try her without the choke. No. Well, that's a lot of disappointment. All right. Well, I thought to myself, you know, I only have to put like a gallon in there. And I already drug a battery out here. So let's try the 550. We gotta have some kind of action here, don't we? I'd like to say I had all the 3 digits running this year. My camera battery's getting low. Let's try that. The 550's always treated me good. Turn on the gas. I already feel some dripping around the shut-off valve. That's probably where it's slowly losing it over time. Good gear. Probably the fuel filter I've got in it is probably somewhat gummed up. I'm only letting gas through at a very slow pace. been about at least 2 years, probably 3. We know it's fresh gas. What's the last oil change? In 21. She'll smooth out as she warms up a little bit there. This was our chore tractor when I was just a wee lad. It had a, I know it was yellow, loader on it, aftermarket, and battery's getting low. Dad used it for loading manure, lots of little chores, and then he finally got a skid steer, and once he had the skid loader, he didn't use the 550 nearly as much, so he took the loader off from this. Wasn't really necessary. Made this, I don't know, it did make it harder to get on and off of the loader. So that opened this up. Mostly it spent its time after that mowing lawn and brush hogging. Yeah, I can remember when we had cattle. This is Dad scooping out of the finish barn, loading manure spreader with this thing. I was pretty young. Power steering, got the job done. We eventually had a customer come in. He wanted a loader for his 550, and he had a Super 55 that had transmission troubles, and he just parked it in the barn and bought a 550, and that ended up being this Super 55. So Dad traded him loader for a transmission troubled tractor, and we went all through it and painted her up and brought her back to life. Now probably the Super 44 will be more inclined to start when it can't. You're trying to listen over the 550. How long can I be in here before I should get fresh air? Oh, my keys are in the 550. Well, a little bit of valve cover leak, and when it sits there long enough, it gets on the exhaust manifold, you start getting a little smoke. Let's see how well she idles down. What's that? Bouncing between 300 and 400. That's bouncing between 200 and 300. Staying closer to 2. So yeah, I guess it's still running good. Let's get over here where you can see like the generator. Okay, fortunately the Duramax was parked right here with a charger cord and the cigarette lighter, because this died. But I did crank this over a couple times. It started chuffing. I got 11% battery again, so maybe if I'm quick we can get her to fire up. Some choke. That's where she, it's like the timing's off a little bit. We're gonna give her some 12-volt pleasure. Well, in that interesting. I wonder if the advance is stuck in the distributor. But it's like it's wanting to fire, but then when it does, it's a little too soon and it stops her from cranking over. But I'll only do it with a choke on. I wonder if I got any smelling salts for tractors in this barn. I don't think I do. I'll plug you back in while I go look. Of course, I put it on the charger. I try to find some smelling salts. Come back over here. I thought, I'll try it real quick. And it's like, yeah, you ain't got the camera. I'm starting. So mission accomplished. All the 3 digits have run this year. Ooh, I'm gonna trip over my own toys. I did find, you know, Ross's nose candy. I was about ready to give a shot of that. I'm like, I'll just give her a quick turn over here. If it acts like it's gonna fire, I'll grab the camera, and it just didn't act, it just fired up. And that was without spraying the brake cleaner. So now I'm in here slowly dying from carbon monoxide poisoning. I should be doing this live. Okay, I might slide the door open a little bit. Don't seem too bad this morning, but you know, it's the silent killer. In case you're wondering what the outside world looks like these days. Yeah, listen to her purr right along. I'm gonna take these off. You have done your job, battery charger. Probably by spring it'll be a good idea to get a new 6-volt battery for the 6-volt tractors. And I like to unplug stuff. We know it's got coolant in it. Let's see how well it idles. There it is. No tack on this. I can tell you it ain't as slow as that 550 was idling, but it runs nice once it fires up. You know, I guess it's a couple years old. '76 grain drill. Got that from a classmate cleaning up their barn, and she just wanted it gone. I still gave her some money for it, but it was still full of wheat, not treated. I made sure everything was turning all right, and I'm like, well, shoot, best way to get it empty is just take it out in the field, and not a bit of that wheat grew. Just the bugs and stuff, and ate all the germ out of every kernel, I'm guessing, but it worked. Maybe this spring, when I plant my cover crop, or my oats for seed, that one can come out, or maybe one of the other ones. And some of them parallel bars on the 207 rake, they need new bearings. They're getting kind of loose, and it's working, but I also don't want to, you know, have a catastrophic failure. Well, sweet. I'm gonna plug this back in the truck, get a little more charge. I need to check Phil's 2150. We put water in that. It was 4th of July parade. He was driving that, and we were checking stuff over last minute, and it was a little low, so we just put straight water in it. And I'm sure, you know, it's not frozen now, even though it's like 28 out or something, but because it already has antifreeze in it, but it might be a little too dilute for later this winter. Yeah, we'll be back. All right. Whew, I know this one has the orange stuff in it, and you know, in retrospect, Dean seemed to be pretty impressed with what they told him, but then again, they never switched. Kind of peachy. Bubble, bubble, bubble. Oh, look at that. All 5 of them are floating. That is excellent. I was figuring if it was too dilute, it must have been pretty concentrated before, because we had like a gallon of water. But if it was too dilute, I had to drain a little out, put some straight stuff in, and maybe just run it on the auger for a little while just to get it all stirred up and mixed up. But she is good. We don't have to worry about some things. Oh, and I checked the 2050. I think that's all the checking I was really worried about. I can check more, but I know I haven't, added anything to ones I haven't used, so they should have the same freeze protection. That doesn't change. It's your corrosion inhibitors that wear out in antifreeze and why you need to change it on a somewhat regular basis. And one time a CarQuest sold a nice additive that you could pour in, and my former radiator shop said I'd used it a time or two, but it brought your pH back up to like 11 or something. It starts high, and that way it's not acidic, but it gets lower and lower, and your antifreeze starts getting acidic and starts corroding at things, but it hadn't lost its freeze protection. Adding this stuff would extend the life of your antifreeze by bringing the corrosion protection back up to where it should be, as long as everything else looked good. And he actually recommended it. And he also doesn't do radiators anymore, so that seems to be something that's getting hard to find someone to do. All right, the battery on this camera is saying, you better wrap it up, Chris. I'm down to 5% even with that little charge in the truck. So yeah, we'll call that good. Nothing terribly exciting, but stuff that needed to be done. And you got to see some of the collection and hear a couple of them run. So, as always, I appreciate everybody watching and hope to see you in the next one.